Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
My name's Jonathan Burns. My name's Jonathan Burns.
What's your name?
Jonathan Burns.
We already called your case.
Yeah, that's what I was. I've been in the waiting room for 30 minutes, but I was at work and we were a little late to getting on break.
You were not in the waiting room for 30 minutes.
Oh no, I've been in the waiting room for 30 minutes, so since like 9:20ish.
Is your waiting room on?
The waiting room is not on.
Okay, that's on. Waiting room's not on, so you couldn't have been in the waiting room. I don't know where you were, but you weren't in our waiting room.
Oh,
Sir,
I'm
a default was
on a
entered,
phone
right?
call.
Sir, a default was entered on your case. You can file a motion to set aside that default.
What's the default?
Meaning I
Because
granted
I
the plaintiff. Sir, I granted the plaintiff a judgment.
Yes.
So you need to file the paperwork to set that aside. You are not in our waiting room because our waiting room is not on.
Okay, yeah, I'm not on the Zoom app. I'm doing it over the phone.
I know. I can see that you're calling on the phone, but you weren't in our waiting room. You would have been brought right into this meeting.
Yes. No, that's what I understand. I was late because I had forgotten my paperwork at home.
Yeah. Thank you for admitting that. You were late. You weren't in our waiting room. I'm done.
Yeah, no,
File the motion to set
late.
aside the default. Sir, you are interrupting my docket. I am done.
Okay.
Thank you. Colleen Smith versus William Kennan.
Good morning, Judge. Dominic Hamden appearing on behalf of the plaintiff. My client, Judge, is here in the Zoom room as well.
All right. And it's Kennan, Ford.
Yep.
Okay. You guys are here. Okay. Where are we now on this case, folks?
Judge, the last time we were in court, Your Honor wanted to set this matter over, I think, for 1 or 2 weeks to give them an opportunity to meet with somebody in order to see if they could make moving arrangements. I wasn't available, so the court set it over for a month to today's date. And I do not know if there's been any progress made regarding the defendants finding alternative housing.
Folks, where are you?
When we spoke to Hawk, they told us that there was nothing that they could do until we were actually fully homeless. Because we stay here, we technically do not qualify as homeless. At least that's what the worker told me. And she said that she didn't even understand why I was given the appointment to begin with. So at this point, there's nothing that we can do. We have nowhere to go. So
Let me ask you this, folks. How long will it take you to get yourselves moved out of there? I realize you've been there for a while, but.
Well, at this point, we're going to try to go to separate places. So a month. I'll take my 2 children we don't share, and he's going to take our baby and go to a different place for the time being.
Judge, if you could unmute my client, I'll just ask her whether or not she's agreeable to possession within 30 days or 30 days.
Unmuted. Yes.
Ma'am?
Fine.
Okay. My client's indicated, Judge, that she's fine with that.
All right. What I will do then is I'm going to grant judgment finding no tribal issue. I'm going to grant a judgment for possession to the plaintiff. Writ will issue 30 days out. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Would there be something?
Thank you. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Smith, I will call you probably early this morning because I will be on the road. Early this afternoon because I'll be on the road. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Judge, have a good day
Thank you, Judge.
and have a good week.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Court does call the case of Triple R Development versus JP Torching and Demolition.
What are you eating?
Morning, Your Honor. Attorney Rebecca Haynes appearing on behalf of Triple R Properties Development.
And I think it's
Good morning,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Perez.
This is Julio Perez. I want to apologize. I contact a lawyer, and unfortunately, he sent me a text yesterday saying that he couldn't help me because he didn't realize there was an Ann Arbor and not in Farmington Hills with the court. I will ask you for more time. He gave me a phone number to contact somebody else. Just need more time to get talk to them. I called them and I left a message yesterday, but I didn't have a response yet.
Sir, I gave you 2 weeks to try to contact somebody.
I
and to get an
did,
attorney.
Your Honor.
You
He
can't
sent me a text.
represent the company.
Yes, he sent me a text yesterday saying that unfortunately he can represent me. He sent me the text yesterday at 10:35 in the morning.
Counsel, what's your position on giving him 1 week, given that I'm not sure why an attorney couldn't appear via Zoom. I don't know the reason, but
Yeah, because he
that's not
told me
my.
that- I know.
Okay, sir, I'm not talking to you.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry.
talking to Ms. Haynes. Ms. Haynes, what's your position on it?
I mean, Your Honor, at this point, it's already been several weeks. We filed this complaint back in June, and the property continues to be in not great shape with an incredible amount of junk still in it. So,
Got it. Which isn't going to disappear in a week. So why don't
No.
I do that? Thank you, counsel. I'm going to adjourn this to the 25th, 2023 at 9 a.m. You need to have an attorney here, sir. If you don't have an attorney here, I'm granting a default. I'm just going to let you know where I'm going to head with it.
Okay, the 25th at 9 o'clock. All right, thank you, sir.
Court calls the case of Carl Staffeld versus Denise Phillips.
Yes, Your Honor, this is Carl Staffeld.
And Your Honor, Callie Dendrinos of Legal Services. I filed my appearance yesterday. I forget what time, so the appearance may not be in the court's file yet. I also mailed a copy to.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
All right. And what's the issue in the case?
Your Honor, go ahead.
Your Honor, it's non-payment of rent, and we're asking for we're not asking for the money. We're asking for possession of the house.
Your Honor, I have a few concerns, Your Honor. The notice is, I think, not right. I'm concerned that Mr. Staffeld is not the real party in interest here. He's neither the owner of the house nor the landlord, according to the leases that I have seen. Separately, Your Honor, there are multiple leases and multiple ledgers. This is a Section 8 assisted unit, and it appears that originally there were 2 different rental amounts included. I am not sure how much rent the landlord is requesting because it's not listed on the notice.
What's the contract violation you're claiming on the notice, sir?
I'm sorry. The contract was set up in the beginning with Denise Phillips, and our agreement was for $3,200 a month, of which DHS would pay $1,800, and she would come up with the other $1,400. That was our original agreement, and she has not paid rent. There's been not only that she did not pay the first month's rent, she didn't pay the security deposit at that time. And there have been missed payments.
Hold on one moment. Who is Kaz Industries?
That's my wife and my wife's company, Cass Industries.
Is it an LLC?
Yes.
Then you can't represent them unless you're an attorney.
Okay, well, I'm not an attorney, Your Honor.
So that's the first problem. All right. So first of all, and what Ms. Gendrinos points out, I think is correct. On the notice to quit, it indicates a person, I'm presuming your wife, as the landlord.
Azar Sadeghi Staffield, yes.
The landlord is not her. It is the company, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's not the real property and interest. The other thing is that on the notice to quit, it says contract violations. What it sounds to me like you're talking about is non-payment of rent.
Yes.
Okay, that can't be the basis for a termination. And also you calculated your days wrong and you haven't given 30 days to move out. Whoever did this hasn't given 30 days.
Okay.
So the notice is bad. And I'll just say it this way. If the notice is bad, I am a statutory court. I don't have jurisdiction over the case. And if I don't have jurisdiction over the case, Supreme Court is very clear about what I have to do. And the only thing that I can do is dismiss it for lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
And then we refile.
Well, you do what you're going to do, but I'm going to suggest to you don't want to come back before this court where the company is the actual party in interest without an attorney, because you are going to get yourself involved in the unauthorized practice of law. So, not saying that as a threat, but you don't want to do that. Case dismissed, lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Or calls the case, People versus Gene. Is it Panchelko? Yeah, Living Trust. I blew that. Versus Isabella Atkins.
TPO, Your Honor, it's not an easy one. Attorney Andrew Babnick appearing on behalf of the trust.
I don't have this tenant checked in.
The tenant is not checked in. Would you like to take a default, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, please.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead with your claim.
Okay, Your Honor, this was a peaceable entry, forcible stay. The tenant is the decedent who used to own the property's granddaughter. He has refused to vacate. The property is owned by the trust. A notice, proper notice was sent actually well in advance. The notice to quit, we gave her over 60 days time to vacate. She's refused to vacate the property, continues to be there. The property needs to be turned over so that the administration of the trust can continue. Service was entered.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, service was entered. A proof of service was filed with the court.
All right. Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. No redemption amount. Writ issued 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's my 9 o'clock block. The 10 o'clock block's arriving. Let me take a brief break and then I'll come back and we'll start calling cases. Court stand in brief recess.
Now back in session. All those having business before the court draw near. The Honorable Judge J. Cedric Simpson presiding.
Fred Howard versus Johnny Bridges.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantera on behalf of Fred Howard.
Johnny Bridges, sir.
All right. This is a termination case.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Bridges, what's your position on the termination?
I feel it was unjustified at first. You know, there's a lot of issues going on with Mr. Howard and improper leasing. I haven't had a lease in 3 years. I haven't got a receipt for none of my rent in 16 months. They keep saying they're going to bring me receipts and fail to do so. And then the missus says, I'm saving them for you.
The last time you paid rent?
They denied the last 2 months, Your Honor.
So, Your Honor, his lease If I may, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
So he has a month-to-month lease, which expired in December.
Never happened, never signed one.
Sir, Mr. Bridges, please.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Mr. Fanter.
He had an original lease, which I have a copy of, from December 14, 2019 through December 14, 2020. He's been a month-to-month tenant since then. His rent is due on the 15th of the month. He has paid rent through June 15th. So he is correct that we have refused his rent from June 15th forward because we didn't want to have a park forest problem. At this point, we just want a judgment that requires him to leave.
If I may.
Yes, go ahead.
On the lease copy that you have, Your Honor, they're also trying to say I only paid $1,500. I gave him $3,000 security. You can see that it was scribbled out. She said that I gave her $1,000 and 2 weeks later gave her $500 more, which never happened. I gave her $4,500 to move in.
All right. Well, the security deposit issue will have to be dealt with in a different way. The only thing that I'm here to decide is the tenancy itself. There is no active lease. You are a month-to-month tenant, either by definition under lease or by definition under statute. They gave the proper 30-day notice. So regrettably, after a hearing on this case, the court does find that there's no tribal issue. I will grant judgment for the plaintiff. We're at the writ to issue in 10 days.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. I will submit a judgment.
So does that mean I got 10 days to vacate, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. That's
can I get 30 days? I've been there 4 years.
I don't know, Mr. Fantera.
No, my client's not interested in that. He's had notice back to May on this case, and he should have been already taking steps to move out.
Daisy 18.
Yes, sir.
28th. I'll make, actually what I'll do is I'll give him a few more days under those circumstances. I'm going to give him to the end of the month. So
That's
no
fine.
writ.
That's fine. I'll just make the action date be August 31st.
That's the best I can do, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Court calls the case of Red Lions versus Jimani Roberts.
Judge Simpson?
Hello. Good morning.
Judge Simpson?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Casey Atkins. I was on the phone waiting for my phone, and you could not hear me for the Falchicchio, and I was screaming. I was just on the call, calling them on the other phone. You could not hear me, and they said sometimes this phone, but I have been on the phone since 8:50. I know that the court didn't start till 9:20. I have heard every case, and you could not hear me, and he got default. I was screaming and trying.
Ma'am, what's your name?
It's Isabella Atkins for Jeannie Falchicchio, the grandmother's trust. and sir, this they've already made two of my. Yeah, I was trying to get. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, that was the last case we did. She was a phone call, right?
Yes.
And so I know that she was here. I'm not sure that there's going to be much to do on the case itself, but what I will indicate, and I did see the phone because I saw two phones down there when the other guy was yelling at me. I granted the judgment. What I'm going to do, ma'am, is I'm going to reset the case to the 25th.
Thank you. We were going to ask for
at 9 a.m. Pardon?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm going to reset it to that time. If you call in, you have to make sure that you hit *6 on your phone in order to unmute.
Yeah, the court people just told me, they said it's really probably just best to download it because sometimes the phones get really bad.
Well, I don't know what the court paper said. All I'm going to tell you is...
No, I'm talking to your court people. Sorry. They said sometimes they've had issues with the phone. So I will download the Zoom and make sure that I can see you.
Really help me.
Thank you, sir.
You know what you're gonna do. I don't need to give any suggestions. I'll reset it to the 25th. We'll let council know.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Judge.
Red Lions versus Roberts.
I'm here, Judge Simpson.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Finch on behalf of Red Lion Apartments.
The last claim that I had August 11th was 2105.
That's still the same, Your Honor.
All right. And what do you have to say about that, Ms. Roberts?
I'm waiting back for my SCR application. I had spoke back and forth with my landlord, Rachel, before this had happened, but they had let me know that this takes about up to 7 to 10 days. I'm new to Michigan. I really didn't know the process. I did just send the SCR worker all of my paperwork, so I'm waiting to hear back from that. I also just got a second interview at this job that's paying about $24 an hour, so I should be starting that about next week. So I should be able to make my rent payment as I have been. I've made them on time previously. I just was without a job and I recently just got a new job, but yeah.
The thing is that the SCR is not going to cover this amount. I can tell you that right now.
Okay.
Is there any amount that you can give to the landlord at this point?
I can get the landlord about $900 next week. Like I would say next week, Thursday, I could definitely get that amount in and start paying down the rent.
Hang on. How much is monthly rent?
It's $925, if I'm not mistaken.
So you're saying next week on the 24th, you can get $900 to the landlord?
Yes, because I am working.
I'm going to give you a shot. Ma'am, I'm going to give you a shot to do that as well as have your SCR. I'm going to suggest that you contact Hawk also to see whether or not there's any additional assistance available. So I'm going to indicate $900 to the landlord by the 24th. I'll adjourn this matter out to August 25th, 2023 at 9 a.m.
Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you.
And Your Honor, that's for the 900 is fine, but I just want to make sure that Ms. Roberts know that she just signed a new lease. Her new rental rate is $975. So I just don't want there to be any misconception.
Yes, no, that's fine. That's why I said it's 25, if I'm not mistaken, because I am aware that I did sign off a new lease agreement.
I just want you to be aware. I'm okay with the 900. So
Walkabout Creek versus Michael Davis. That matter's dismissed on plaintiff's motion without prejudice.
That's all for me today, Your Honor. I'll see you next Friday. Thank you.
Court calls the case of Arbor Club Apartments versus Kimberly Jones.
Good morning, Your Honor. Lawrence Kreffman standing in for Cheryl Luckoff on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Kimberly Jones.
All right. I had 2554 owing at the last hearing.
Correct.
All right. How are you going to get that paid, ma'am?
I had already contacted the leasing office prior to the court anything. I told them I'd pay $1,000 by what was last Friday? I gotta look at my calendar. I'm sorry. By the 11th, I actually paid it on the 8th, and they were in agreement that I could pay the remaining $25.54 by the 31st. They were perfectly fine with that. When we met in court last week, the attorney who was represented did not know the agreement that I had made with the office, so I emailed her all the information, and we were still bound over to come see you.
Okay. Mr. Kreffman?
Yes, Your Honor.
You know anything about that?
I do not. And
would you like me to forward the email to you as well?
Well, no, ma'am, please. Do you know you don't know anything about that, Mr. Kreffman? I realize you're filling in today, but here's what I'm going to do. I'll allow them to do a little bit of catch up on that, and I'll adjourn this out 1 week to the 25th, 2 p.m. and see if we can get everything clarified as to the agreement. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Arbor One West versus Samoa Freeman.
For the record, Lawrence Craftsman standing in for Cheryl Luckoff for the plaintiff.
Good morning.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
I'm here.
I knew she'd be here. All right. Did we get anything clarified regarding the month-to-month lease?
If you're asking me, Your Honor,
You don't know. I know. This is a bit complicated. No, it's okay because this one was a bit complicated because I think they were going to do a lease. Hawk was going to pay. And then Amy, help me.
Good morning, Your Honor. They did offer the Freemans a month-to-month lease, which they signed. Her case application has now been submitted for approval. Agency is still waiting on funding. Ms. Freeman's aware of that. But she's done what she can, and we're doing what we can on our end.
Got it. And Ms. Freeman, have you made payments to the landlord since our last hearing?
We did the last one we just did on Tuesday was the $700 too, because I know a new month ran over.
Right.
We made sure we got it under the 3,000 mark.
Right. So can you make another payment before next Friday?
Yes, sir.
How much can you make?
It's we could do. Can I set it at 500? And of course, if I have the extra,
I got you.
back.
Okay. I'm with you.
Right.
We're gonna just slow walk this thing till I'm running out of room on my docket sheet here.
No, it's already flipped over, huh?
Yeah, already flipped over, and I may need another sheet, but that's okay. August 25th, 2023 at 2 p.m. And you'll pay that 500 by what date?
At least by next Friday.
By the 25th? Try to get it in on the 24th. I'm going to put the 24th.
Okay, I'll get it in for then. Can you say that date again? Because it kind of got a little wonky.
August 25th, 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay, I heard the p.m. I just didn't hear the number in front of that.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Freeman.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge.
Arbor One West.